Another good item that you can craft for profit is going to be a minion wand. Now, this craft is not going to be accessible to most of you. This is a good way to craft a very good one for yourself if you don't want to buy it or you cannot find one on the market. But basically, this is going to be a very expensive craft, and most of you will probably not even attempt it because you are going to waste a lot of divines, and you are going to have to wait for the item to sell. So that's the drawback. The thing with crafting for profit, you can do it in two ways. You can either craft a very good item that is going to take time to sell and is going to be very expensive to craft it, or you can try to craft in bulk uh, mediocre or acceptable items that could sell for a bit of chaos in the hopes that you will hit something big and that would be your profit, and the other items will just like uh, make it break even. But in this video I want to show you how to craft a very good minion wand that is going to be quite expensive. And if you have the bookmarks set up, if you have the trait filters already made, and maybe even activate some live searches, and you can craft it in the first 2 or 3 days of the league, maybe even the first day, this is going to be a sick wand. The problem is you're going to craft it for cheap if you do it in the first 2 to 3 days of the league, but it's going to take about 1 week to sell it because uh, most people will not have enough currency to buy it from you. So that's one of the drawbacks. If you want quick cash, you need to grind and sell the currency items, the items that are actually that sell very fast. But since you are talking about crafting, it's going to take time for the items to sell. Now, how do we craft this one? So first, I'll show you how to set up the filter for the item to bite, and from then on, I'll show you the crafting process in Craft of Exile. Basically, what you need a minion wand, and minion wands have implicits with minion deal increased damage. So if you search like this and you put the category wand, all the results are going to be the minion ones, right? The convoking one, it's probably is the best because it rolls up to 30%. But even if you have a covening or the calling, they are good enough. So this is the implicit, right? So that you search for minion ones, and then you will need a fracture. Minion deal increased damage. Now, how much minion deal increased damage? Let's just see. Uh, let's go to the emulator, create a new. We are going to search for convoking wand. Let's just see on the bench how much you can craft. So on the bench you can go up to 54%. Now if you would add Aisling, let's just see with Aisling how much you could get. Mm, Yeah, so with Aisling it's only 38%. There's not much. So basically anything above 54% is going to be good enough. And the cheapest version is going to be a Covening wand that goes up to 24, and a Convoking wand with 68 that goes for 1 divine and goes up to 30. So in this case you would basically buy this base. Obviously the higher the better, but the base is also going to be much more expensive, right? So it's very unlikely that you are going to pay 50 divines. Now of course this is the end of the league, and since it's the end of the league. Very unlikely that um, uh, you will find any base for cheap because everybody has currency now. But basically, you will craft one similar to this one right here. But you are not going to have the fracture of 105%, or the higher you can get it, the better. But around 70%, it's okay. So basically, what you have, let's just say, um, you have increased minion damage, and let's just say you have this tire right here, tire, and you fracture it, right? Tire 3, and it's fractured. This is a pretty good base. Even 55 to 69% is good. And now you would go to make it, you make it yellow, and you would use fossils. And let's just double check the wand to make sure that I know the the correct fossils. But basically, uh, convoking, I think it's, so you're looking to get the +1 minion and +1 spells. And if you go here and hit compute best selection, since we have selected fossils, it will tell us which combination is most profitable, and you should attempt using to get the +2. Uh, if I remember correctly, three. It's either 3 fossils or 4 fossils. Yeah. So as you can see right here, the best way to craft this, it says that it's going to be corroded, jagged, metallic, and shattering. Jagged, metallic, and corroded, like this. So if you spam this, you should get the +1, and also you should get the like this. So if this happens, the only thing you can do at this point is to use an orb of annulment and hope it will remove a suffix, because it's unfortunate. You can even let it like this, because these are pretty good stats, right? But if you want to craft it even further, let's just say that it gives you 3 bad suffixes, you would use Orb of Annulment and hope it doesn't break the suffixes, the prefixes. If it breaks the prefixes, then it's game over. You have to start all over again. But if it removes one suffix, what you would do from this point on, you would go to the craft bench and you would put on the suffixes, you would put prefixes cannot be changed, um, like this. Then you would use orb of scouring, and now you have 3 empty prefixes, empty suffixes, and perfect prefixes. Um, at this point, you can do the following. You can either go with can have up to 3 crafted modifiers, and then you would put either trigger or socketed, and the minion attack speed, cut speed, or whatever you feel like. It's, you have to check the market, because I honestly don't know exactly in this meta what people are searching for, but basically this is how you craft a minion wand. um, so maybe they want attack speed, cast speed, and this probably would be a great up a good wand. However, if you wanna take it a step further to craft even an even better one, what you would do, and also this is going to be much more expensive, you would go prefixes cannot be changed. And at this point, I suggest you use Aishling and not Veiled Chaos Orb. The problem with using Veiled Chaos Orb, most of the time is going to give you one suffix. However, there is a small chance that it will fill all the suffixes, and if you craft this early in the league, Aishling is probably not going to be more expensive than 30 chaos. This is aging in the first 2 to 3 days of the league. It's going to be between 10 to 30 kills. That's the average price for aging. So just because uh, it doesn't let me undo for some reason. Um, Basically, this is what you would end up with if you do use Aisling. So you just pay 20 kills instead of like 3 or 4 kills that you would pay for a veiled chaos orb, just to make sure you don't break the item. Um, Now, after you have used this, what you would have to do, you go here and look at what modifier you would probably want. Double damage, don't think it's necessary. Increase attack speed, cast speed, no, not necessary. And probably the best one would be minions have increased attack speed, cast speed. This would be probably the best one, or the trigger a socketed spell using a skill. These are probably the best outcomes that you can get. And let's just see what's uh, the most likely to repeat. So basically, you'd have to craft. If you look at this, they all have the number 12. So that means if either one of these is present, you cannot get the other one. So here are four of these with 16% chance. Uh, Whereas if you craft one of these increased damage per endurance charge, there are only three of them. So it makes much more sense to craft one of these skills, cold damage over time. So you would go to the bench, you'd craft cold damage over time, and now you would unveil it. Because now it's the highest chance for you to hit either trigger a socket spell using a skill with a 4-second cooldown, or minions have increased attack speed, cast speed, right? So you would use this unveil and hope. Yeah, we didn't get it right now, so it's unfortunate. If this happens, you still have one slot open. You'd craft prefixes cannot be changed. Um, and what I would probably do in this situation, I would just use Aisling. No, you cannot use Aisling right now because you have to use either. You have to once again go Scouring Orb. Again, it's very expensive like this. You can probably leave it with multiple crafted modifiers. You just have to analyze the market and see what's most profitable, because it depends from league to league. But basically, you have to once again craft prefixes cannot be changed. Once again, you have to use Aisling. Then you have to craft another damage over time multiplier once again, and then you would unveil it, and we hit the trigger a socketed spell like this, which is very good. Now, um, how you would go about exalt slamming? Now you can definitely, if you wanna risk it, and let's just say you are in the situation like this, you can definitely use a veiled chaos orb if you don't want to risk it, because it's going to cost you another two divines, right? But you can break the item like this if you do the veiled chaos orb. Anyway, um, let's just hit unveil. We didn't hit a good unveil, and we do it once again until we get the trigger like this. Once you get the trigger, how you would go from here, you would look at what craft you want to put on your weapon, or search the market, because it's going to depend. Like for example, if we look at this wand right here, this dude, as you can see, he used the unveil on minion attack speed, cast speed. He got 20% chance to shock with the Exalt Slam, and he crafted trigger a socketed spell when you use a skill. Now I think if you have a trigger a socketed spell with 4 seconds cooldown, it's going to be uh, much more expensive than getting this 20% attack speed, cast speed, because I guess you could put about around 16% cast speed with the bench. So let's just see how much minion have increased attack speed, cast speed. So yeah, you can put 15% increased attack speed, cast speed. You have crafted this, and now at this point, all you can do is hit an exalt and pray for something good. Like for example, in this case, we hit minions have increased accuracy. This is a very expensive one to make, and you are probably much better off if you use the multi-mode rather than going through all the hassle with Aisling, because this is definitely much better one that one uh, with the multi-mode, but the only difference is the either 20% increase attack speed instead of 15%, or uh, 4 seconds cooldown instead of 8 seconds cooldown. Because the last mod is anyway going to be a random exalt. In this case, we got pretty lucky. This probably would sell for like, let's just say 30-40 divines, just because it has the minion accuracy rating. But if it didn't, yeah, not much. You would not sell it for that much. So this is how you craft for profit. It depends on you what how you approach this craft, and also on the market. How much are people willing to pay for a wand like this? But this is basically how you do it.